episode of Living Life Intently. I'm your host, Lee Frazier. Johnny's not here, but I'm going to speak for him in his place. We absolutely love that you guys listen, download, stream, whatever to this podcast. It means a lot. It's been a fun ride this winter. And like I mentioned last week, this is one of the final 2 episodes of this season. Next week's the season finale with Jan and Chris from Aid for Adventure. Not going to lie, had a couple beers. We chatted about a bunch of shit, watched the sun come down. It was a fun one. Other things I want to mention before we jump into this podcast. We've got a deal on campsites. So in June, you book any 2, you get a third for free. So just select the 3 dates and it'll automatically discount your booking by 1 night. Glamping is back to single night bookings. 2-night bookings, no more a thing. Well, I mean, you can book 2 nights, but 2-night minimums are no more a thing. No more a thing? I don't know if that's English or not. I may have drank too much coffee this morning. So the last thing on the list to talk about is the Margaree River paddle trips, which I've been leaking and talking about and posting about for like 2 months now. They are going to see the light of day this weekend on the website. There's going to be 2 trips in June. Both are going to be the same concept, but one is going to include a private dinner at the Bite House. We only have availability for 8 people on each trip, and you can choose between a pack raft or a inflatable paddleboard, which I took last year, it's a pretty good tool, pretty good weapon for that rip. But just a little more information on that. It is a 4-day trip. You can either join us for the full 4 days or join us for the last 2 days if Whitewater and the upper river is a little too advanced for you and you want to spend a couple days paddling the river and having fun and hanging out. Whatever, man. You can still do the 2 days and join us for the Bite House dinner, but all those options will be on the website this weekend, and I'm sure I'll be posting all about it. But if those are of interest to you, send us a DM, and I'll just email you all the details right away as soon as it comes out. But yeah, I'm not going to talk any longer. I just want to jump into this podcast. So this episode is with Grant Whitcombe, who owns Kiff Lab, which is a dry bag company based out of Halifax. They sponsored our trip down the Margaree last year. We got to use their gear and you know, really put it to the test. I mean, mine had all my camera gear in it, and I went like head over heels in some rapids a few times. So the thing's tough as nails. The bags are great, but Grant's a weapon. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, man. This was a fun one. And we'll see you next week for the season premiere. Finale. Jesus, Lee. Get yourself together. Okay, see you next week. Okay, so we are here.
In the Halifax Library.
Yeah, we're here.
I love this conference room. This is dope, bro.
It's a beautiful building.
Hey, yeah, and it's like we called yesterday, and they're like, you can pay for it now, or you can wait till tomorrow and it's free. I'm like, I'll wait till tomorrow and it's free.
I was like, well, what's the schedule like? She's like, yeah, there's nothing going on tomorrow. I'm like, well, great, cool.
Yeah, and then we're doing this, and then we're heading to out Purcell's Cove to Jan and Chris to do the Aid for Adventure guys, if you know those guys.
Yeah, I know them very well.
Yeah, friends of mine. That's I found out recently that Chris went to university with my friend Jeremy Smith, who runs the paddleboard company, and I would have crossed paths with him back then. So,
you would have probably brushed shoulders, but yeah,
yeah, it wasn't the same crowd, but you know. And not the same interest. But yeah, we're here in Halifax. We're sitting down at the Halifax Library, and we're here with Grant from Kiff. And I always said, I think I sent you the videos from the Strawberry Run, and it was like Kiff Labs or Kiff bunch of stuff. And I'm like, fuck, I misspelled that. I have no attention to detail. So yeah, so you're from South Africa, and why don't you just, or no, is it South Africa?
Yep.
Am I right?
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could do a brief introduction. I was born in Zimbabwe.
Cool.
But our family were there my parents grew up there, and then after they had a war, and when I think I was younger than 1, we moved to South Africa.
Yeah.
I lived there right throughout my childhood into my later teens, and that's why I think I say I'm from South Africa, because that's where I grew up.
Yeah. I had a friend I was working with from Zimbabwe, but that was when they were like, it was like lots of lots of murders and people getting evicted from their farmland and all
Yeah,
that sort of
exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
So he had to move his family, and he's like, his story was kind of crazy. He was like, we were like minutes away from, if we would have been like a couple minutes earlier, we would all been dead. My whole
So
family.
Zimbabwe's down near Yarmouth, right?
That's just down the 102 there. Yeah, it's a lot of people have kind of traumatic stories from there. It's quite sad, but the people are the most incredible people in the world.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, you know, your parents hold things back from you, but I think that was a big part of why we moved.
Yeah.
My dad and his brothers were in the army, and they were a little bit concerned about our family and the rest of it. So yeah, we looked for another adventure in South Africa, and it was incredible. It's a special place.
Yeah. Did you go swim with sharks?
I got a lot of stories about my childhood, but
Do you?
yeah.
What's the wildest, craziest one?
It's which one I don't want my parents to hear about, but so to give you a brief background, to if you want to have an answer to that question. So I grew up in a place called Richards Bay, and if you noticed with our products, it's called the Tuzigazi.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a combination of two words from two rivers. There's the Tuzi and the Mzangazi rivers that flowed into one of the biggest natural harbors.
Okay.
And it's there that I grew up. I grew up around the water there. And it's probably the most dangerous water in the world. We have hippos, saltwater crocodiles, and bull sharks. We call them Zambezi sharks.
Whoa.
That come up there. And we grew up in that water, just messing around, and we had some, and then up further along, there's an area called St. Lucia. It's not like the Caribbean St. Lucia; it's a little bit more rougher. And there's a huge wetland park there, and we used to go hiking and boating and fishing there, and we had some fun contact situations with animals.
Wow, crazy. It's a completely different perspective. I mean, what do we got here? Coyotes that run away from you and black bears that also run away from you.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like it reminds me of like, you know, the Australian thing is like everything's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We laugh. I don't want to sound rude here. But we do, when people say, "Oh, everything in Australia wants to kill you," we have it, but worse. We have the insects, we have the snakes, and then we have all these wild animals that are, you know, they're pretty dangerous. So
Yeah.
So do you always bring, when your guys are out, will you bring protection with you?
No. If you're in a bigger game park and you have a game ranger walking around with you, he'll have a weapon.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I mean, you'll have a knife or something on you, but animals too, they try to stay away from you. And you learn which animals you need to just be aware of. People think cats are quite dangerous. Leopards they can be a little bit dangerous, but it's more hippo, buffalo. They I don't want to call them dumb animals, but they can't see very well. So if they see you approaching them, they'll go for you, and they're not shy of taking you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hippos can be pretty vicious.
Yeah, they're the most dangerous. Whenever you're in the water, if you come close to them, you just got to be very, very careful. And then on land too. So one of the funniest and scariest moments of my life was we used to do this 5-day hike on this trail called Emoyeni up in St. Lucia, and we knew it very well. And there's this one part on, I think it was day 2. It's been a long time, but there was this massive marsh area.
Yeah.
And it was a very dry year. And day 1, we were like, oh, well, everything's dried up. And this marsh area, you had to walk all the way around. It took a couple of hours, maybe a little bit more. So we were like, let's just cut straight through the middle because, you know, it's dry. Mm-hmm. So we made it to about halfway, and then we realized it's a hippo grazing area, but there's no hippos around. It's daytime, and they usually come out of the water at night to graze. And but the problem was it was a marshy area, but it was dry. The mud was dry, but their hooves or their feet are huge. They don't have hooves, but their feet are So we were walking and we were falling all over the place because you stand in these. And we went through it and we got to the campsite and I realized my tent actually fell off my pack. So my friend Owen and I decided to go back, but it was at the end of the day, and we decided to go back and look for my tent. I can't remember why he came with me, but he might have been sleeping in my tent with me, but he came out there with me, and he's the most irresponsible guy. I don't know why I took him. But anyway, we were out there, and until you go to Africa, you don't realize how quickly the sun sets. Yeah. It's daylight and then it's dark within a few minutes. Anyway, he was about 100 meters away from me, and I was searching with my torch in the sunset. And I could see his torch along the ground. And then out of nowhere, we just heard these hippo between us. So they come out of the water in the dark and they started grazing. And they make like I don't want to make this, it's like a,
yeah.
And I just saw his torch stop and then start going up and down. And he just ran off. And the problem for me was that the campsite they were between myself and the campsite. So, and I didn't want to keep my torch on because, that can attract some kind of attention. So I turned my torch off and I had to walk all the way around this marsh at the pitch dark. And I would turn my torch on now and then, and you just see these eyes everywhere and you don't know what they are. And I get back to the campsite honestly, it took me a while. It must have been an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I get back there and Owen's sitting next to my pack and he's got my food and he's eating it and he just laughs at me. All the guys laugh. They're like, "Oh, we thought you weren't coming back."
Oh, well, we might as well eat all his food.
Yeah.
We thought you weren't coming back, so you don't need that granola.
Yeah. So, when you're a kid, you're silly. And then I think it was a year later, again, with hippos, we were, it's very dangerous there. You shouldn't swim in the water, but it was a very hot year. The temperature gets 50 plus there. Yeah. So when you're walking 30 to however many kilometers a day with a very 80 kg pack, it's quite a toll in that heat. So we all stripped off naked and we were swimming in the estuary there, and there's big saltwater crocs. So you gotta really be careful. A couple of guys keep their eyes out. But there was a group of hippos about 20 meters away. And I don't know if you know what clay lighting is. So you get a reed, and you put a piece of clay on the end, and then you can flick it, and it goes really far.
Cool.
So we were like, we were stupid boys, so we were flicking them and trying to get as close to the hippos as we could. And one of the guys hit one on its backside and it stood up. We thought they were in deep water. It stood up and it just charged at us. And we all climbed into this tree that was the worst tree ever. It was halfway dying. It's bending over, and we had these hippos all around us, and completely stark naked. So in that African sun, our pale white bums got really burnt, and it made the rest of the hike uncomfortable with the packs. But
they're really fast, eh?
Hippos? Yeah, they extremely fast. And the other thing you don't realize is you run around a bush, they run straight through it. So
right.
So you gotta be careful with them.
It's like watching black bears. You don't think they could move that fast, and then you just see this like dart through the trees, and it's gone.
So I have a question. What brought you to Nova Scotia?
Well, my wife, she's from here. Her grandparents are from Cape Breton.
Cool.
Yeah, I think her grandmother's from Louisburg and her grandfather's from Bedeck.
Oh, wow.
They're wonderful people. And we met in the UK.
Cool.
And she said, part of the deal was we moved back to Nova Scotia, and I'm very thankful we did. I always say this, I don't think people realize how wonderful it is here.
Yeah.
The people that live here. It's a good lifestyle. It's very relaxed. I know housing prices and all the rest are crazy right now, but and I think people are special. Yeah, they're just lovely, very, very positive and bubbly and welcoming. So yeah, that's how I ended up here. And it's worth saying too. if you asked me when I was 18 if I'd be living in Canada, I would have said to you, there's no way. Because
what am I going to take a moose to work?
Exactly.
Am I going to ride a moose to work?
And why would I live anywhere where it's, it gets down to minus 20 or whatever? And, because I was a big surfer boy. I love, it's a great place.
You still surf?
I do, but not here as much as I wish I did.
Yeah.
I'm a very fair weather surfer. I think the guys here are very brave and
because of the cold?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Literally down to it. Because where I grew up is the Indian Ocean. So we would just, the water's average temperature is 26 degrees. So we would just wear board shorts and a rash vest. And we had very good waves there. So the waves, the waves are on and off, and you got to be in the community and watch the weather to see when it's good. So I just haven't done that yet.
I just started surfing last year.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, maybe 24 times I've gotten up and rode for a few seconds or whatever. It's exhilarating. It's exhausting though, trying to get that few seconds.
Yeah. But the best thing about it is you completely connected with nature and your environment, and those 2 seconds were probably one of the best 2 seconds of your life.
The whole world drops out and you feel weightless. You feel like the water has morphed with your body and it's just carrying you to shore, right?
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Except for when you hit bottom.
Except for then when you turf your board.
That's been my experience. I've surfed probably maybe a dozen times, and I'd say probably 10 of those times have been in 10-foot swells, and winter. So, or a storm. So I'm literally crashing and dying. We went out here one time. I'm going to say it's 10 years ago, and we were in Halifax. I was up here staying at my aunt's. And my brother was here, and it was in November, and it was a snowstorm, and we had all decided to go surfing that day. So we drove out to Lawrencetown and went to Happy Dudes and went to rent boards from them. And they're like, "Have you guys surfed before?" "Oh yeah, we've surfed before." I did twice before, right? And nobody else had surfed at all. So we grabbed the boards and we go out to the beach, and there's it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't know how to paddle out. So I'm paddling straight into the waves, and I'm getting smashed and hit off the rocks. And so I make it out once. I kind of get up, fall down. I sit on the beach, and I'm just done. But I'm looking down the beach, and I see the rest of the guys, and they're hands are in the air waving. I'm like, oh, they're having a good time. What I didn't know was that one of the guys is starting to get sucked out, and they're trying to wave me to go help him. And I'm just sitting there on the beach,
waving
out, having a beer, waving back. And so they finally rescue him, get him out, and he gets off out of the water. And there's a bunch of local guys starting to show up, and they're like, "What are you guys doing here?" I'm like, "Oh no, we just rented boards from Happy Dudes." They're like, "They rented you boards?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you surfed before? I was like, a handful of times. They're like, "They should not have rented you boards." I don't know what they were doing. So that was, and then we came back and went to the Father's Mustache and proceeded to drink all day.
We have a couple of popular surf spots on the island, but I've recently discovered through I posted a couple of pictures of me surfing or us out or whatever, and then a bunch of people I didn't know who are from Cape Breton messaged me, and they're like, "Man, have I got a spot for you? Nobody knows about it, so don't tell anybody." So I've got a map of all of these surf spots that are really close to me now.
And you got to keep those close to heart.
Right?
You don't tell anyone, otherwise you get in trouble. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration for Kiff?
It's a good question. So, I'm a very outdoorsy guy. Like I said, I love being on the water, in the water, and hiking and camping and the rest of it. And there's so many opportunities to do it. So, anyway, that's another whole part of it. But when COVID started, if you guys remember, everyone got into this whole, let's call everyone around the world and get onto these groups calls. I don't know if you guys did it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was let's chat to our friends all around the world or wherever, and that's the way we're going to keep ourselves sane.
Just to interject, a friend of mine made one of all of his ex-girlfriends.
That's brilliant.
And then all of like our group of friends who hadn't really talked in a long time, and now we're all friends and we've traveled to meet each other.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's so funny when they all realize though one day in the group chat, like, wait, did you guys all sleep with him?
Good for him. What
but
a
anyway,
hero.
go ahead.
Yeah. So we, all of us, my South African friends that I went to school with, we had a chat, and one of my friends, Shax, he was just talking about Botswana, and then we got into a conversation, and then later on, further on down the line, we were talking about how these kids in Africa, especially, they go to school and they don't have backpacks. So they walk to school carrying their books, and when it rains, their books get ruined, and that's their year ruined. So they have to share books and whatever. So I was like, well, I got contacts in the outdoor scene. Let me see how much it costs to make a bag.
Yeah.
So, and then I went down this path, and I realized it's very easy to do, and you just need a bit of money. Mm-hmm. And then we got talking about, let's launch a brand, and let's make something that's special, and then off of those proceeds we can try get these packs to these kids.
Yep.
We didn't go down that route though, for particularly school kids, but we work with another foundation called Waves for Change, with Waves for Change.
Yep.
And they're amazing. They help street children or children that are in difficult situations, and they call it surf therapy, and they take them out of that environment, take them down to the beach, get them into this little community, and try to build up their confidence and awesome. Get them out surfing and just having fun as kids, because most of the time they're just trying to find food and the rest of it it's terrible. So I've through the brand, and that's how Kiff came along. We just through that conversation, we wanted to just build out a brand that does something good.
Cool. And
there's a whole business side to it. We knew that it's outdoor market. It's very competitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we had to find a little groove in there, and we had to look for a product that was one size, because you could do T-shirts and the rest of it, but you have to have a lot of stock. And then we went down the route of, okay, we're going to have a product to capture people's attention. There needs to be a level of education into the materials and the rest of it. So and then that's where it came from, I guess.
What does Kiff mean?
Oh, I should have mentioned that, actually. We say Kiff. We don't say cool. So cool means Kiff. Where we're from, it's not cool to say cool. It's cool to say Kiff.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
well, Kiff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the name is Kiff, and then lab is we just wanted to, with these crazy guys in a little
lab.
Yeah, just trying to figure out materials and the rest of it. So
how long was the process from inception of the idea to the finished product?
2 years, two and a bit years now. It took a year to come up with it, to find a manufacturer, to find a product, to go through the whole marketing process. And then the last year has just been trying to build the brand itself off of one product. But now, unfortunately, we're going to bring out a few more. So,
I mean, I don't want to imply that it's a success. I don't know, but like from my perspective, when I seen Lee and Ashley's bags, and then like 2 weeks after that, you had put out a contest to win one, bro. I dedicated 2-3 weeks of my life, day and night, to win that bag.
One of the guys, Cade, who helps me with this, he's basically my partner, and he was just like, "Who's this Jonathan guy?" Literally just hitting the contest constantly. Well, he's doing a good job.
I hit that contest until like Instagram every hour would say, "You've posted too many times. You need a 30-minute break." And I did that for 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, You made a lot of noise for us. It was fantastic.
I got the bag.
Yeah.
I won the bag.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it served me very well. I mean, like, I have taken it over mountains and through rivers, and I have fallen down with it. I've gotten it hung up on things. I have dropped it pretty fucking far with gear in it. It's still waterproof. It's still solid. Like,
yeah, we're working on 2.0 now. So it's like with any product, you figure out the weak points and the rest of it, and it has done well. And we've got a lot of raving reviews about it, which is fantastic. And then we will be bringing out a better version too.
Cool.
Well, it keeps things dry, I'll put it that way, because there's a part, and I really, in hindsight, I wish I would have captured this when we were paddling the Marguerite last year. And I have a clip, so I was ahead of everybody, and it was where it was the bag on my back that had my camera in it, so I'd pop it down and everything ready to go, and I'd pop it open and start filming. So I'm filming, and I'm seeing Wes and Alec and Ashley in the canoe. They're coming down and they're starting to rope the canoe, but way up on the corner of the river, I see Logan and I see Jimmy coming down in their canoe, and it hits a rock and it goes sideways, and then I just see like bags getting thrown out and water going everywhere. And I in the corner of the screen, like I'm focusing, I'm watching the guys next to me, but in the background you can see the canoe flip over, and I'm like, oh shit. And then you see the camera get slammed down on the ground, and I just took off running. And we had a fish. It floated. It had camera gear and everything in it, and it was floating down the river, and I was in the middle of the water with a stick trying to pull all these dry bags out of the water as they came down the current. Yeah, so it kept that dry. But Jimmy had his, $10,000 camera rig in a garbage bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, I've climbed through wet caves with it. We've done all kinds of crazy shit with them.
I mean, it's I need to put it's nothing special. It is a regular dry bag. It's just
it's really durable.
Yeah, we tried to find the best material that we could for it. That wasn't bad for the environment and the rest of it. So we did a lot of work there, and you guys had a pretty serious trip.
That was pretty fun. It was fun, man. It's I'm in the middle of editing it right now, which I've realized that throughout that process, there was a lot of stuff I missed the mark on getting, because we were just trying to get through the whitewater. But and I didn't really capture much of some of the whitewater, but the extent of the whitewater and like rapids that we went through, like I didn't capture most of them because I was just like, let's just get people through this corner and not get everything, like not just us hurt, but also all the gear. We had probably like $50,000-$60,000 worth of film gear between like the four of us. Like it's kind of crazy. Definitely did not need it all.
And Ash actually messaged me afterwards because she didn't have a bag, and she said that she wished she had one, which was, she talk about a talented individual.
Yeah.
And so I sent her a bag afterwards, and she's been, promoting and doing her thing. And it was good to hear that, there was some use for it for you guys.
It didn't just sit on a beach. Yeah, we kicked the shit out.
So
of it,
I had
right?
I had the backpack on. So I had my fishing waders on, and then I had my shell, my Gore-Tex shell, and then I had the life jacket, and then I had the Kiff bag. And then I had like walkie-talkies hanging off it, and I had like all this shit, and I would go head over heels. Like we'd come through a rapid, and I'd bomb them, right? I'd just be like, let's run. Let's not even look at the rapid. Let's just bomb it. So I'm coming through, and it'd hook a rock or something and throw me forward, or I'd flip it sideways, and I'd be in that water with the bag and all my camera gears in the back of it, and it worked well.
And they served us well in Keji too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Yeah. But that was a big problem on that trip. We had these so-called dry bags from Makona. Ask Ashley how that went.
So you guys have worked together on some projects.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
we did the Strawberry Run trip. We linked up on that one. We were looking at potential, like the idea for that trip was to find like-minded companies that would be interested in being involved in a project. Because I had this idea of doing this documentary, and we had done one previously, and I wanted to do another one. And so we just started like cold calling people and reaching out to random, and like And I didn't think anybody would jump on it. That was the idea. I was like, I'm just going to do it.
I was one of those suckers.
Well, it's just like, and then I don't know if you were the first one, and I can't remember who first. And then after the first person jumped on, it was just like boom, 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 boom. And we filled out the whole list of sponsors. I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So, but it worked out well. It was fun to do and a fun challenge for us. But yeah, I mean, I love seeing the pictures. I was telling them the other day of the one, it was like Paddle Canada or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just me standing on a rock. That was the corner that everybody almost died on. But
yeah, no, it was a perfect fit for us too. When you guys described the whole adventure and the rest, it was, and what you produced out of that is, we keep recycling it. It's amazing, some of the images and the rest of it. So yeah, we were very thankful to be part of it.
Yeah, I think you're like one of the probably the main person that keeps resharing stuff. I'm looking at all the other brands that were on board. I'm like, you're not sharing anything? Like those photos were awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You work with many content creators?
It's quite so yes. Yeah. I mean, to how we can, as much as we can, because we are still a small enterprise or whatever you want to call it. But so from the beginning, we had a simple plan. It was, you have influencers and the rest of it.
Yep.
But we wanted to just try to get people on board that were content creators, but in the outdoor scene.
Yeah.
Because just the return on that is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we work with guys like Rove Productions, with Matt and Riker, and they've been helping us since the beginning. They're just incredible guys.
Yeah.
Super talented again.
Super talented.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we've been doing, and hopefully this next year we can start spreading out into the rest of the world, get some people in South Africa involved, and in the US, which has turned out to be a really good market for us, even though we haven't even tried to explore there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we put a lot of marketing in South Africa, Europe, UK, and Canada. And Canada and the US have just. That's where we're doing a lot of our sales. Yeah,
crazy.
Cool.
I know a lot of the fishing guys around here bought stuff and use it quite a bit because you got that nice little strap on the side that's perfect for a rod case. That's what I had in mind. So
no rod case, your paddles. You can put your tripod in there, and all those. So just strap all that stuff onto it
for sure.
What's been one of the kind of coolest things, milestones that you guys have hit since you started the business?
Wow, that's a.
There was a lot of stuff, but I just want to know from your perspective, because the amount of stuff that I've seen is probably only a small percentage of the stuff you see, because I obviously run the company.
A very cool or Kiff thing for us.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. A very Kiff thing for us was a lady called Bridget Hartley. She went to school with me actually, but she's an Olympic rower, and she took our bag to the Olympics. And for us, that was that's pretty special. Here we are, across the world. So, so that was a great moment for us. And then I think in general, the support that we're getting from our community. We don't have a big community yet, a lot of followers, but the people that are behind us are just championing us, and it warms the heart.
Sick.
So, yeah.
It's very fun. I like seeing I just like being on the ground floor and knowing the people like you and being involved in these companies and products and seeing them start and from the ground floor up. It's like the Breton Brewing guys, when they first started, I started working with them quite a bit. And they jumped on that project as well. So it was very cool to see, I think the first year they started, I was chatting with them about sponsorship, doing this, and they've been really, they've championed and like to be a part of a lot of local events. Obviously, they're a local brewery, but yeah, it's been pretty fun working with them over the years and seeing them grow. How it used to be just the two owners they used to deal with, and then now it's a whole team of people behind them.
And I think there's something really special about dealing with a company grassroots. Yeah, Not saying that, if Patagonia was hey guys, you want a sponsorship? We'd turn it down or anything. But fuck, it's super cool to work with a company who's still in the development process, and and we get to pump, and we get all this social media back and forth, and that's really cool. And
we also, when you're at our stage with guys like yourself who are using the bag and that, we like a sponge when you tell us what what you need it for and what we can improve that's why our ears are open.
Well, what do you got coming up? What's the next product launch for Kiff?
So we're gonna do it in stages. So we've got a 10-liter option with a strap that's coming out this month. Because we've been asked for something simpler. That bag's pretty big. It's a 35-40 liter bag. So you can't use it every single day. So the
challenge accepted.
But the 10 liter is just a regular dry bag, and then we have a 20 liter smaller option that's a backpack, and then we have a 5 liter and then a duffel bag that's a backpack, which can be different sizes. So, but yeah, it's all you got to do it in stages just because of the capital heavy business. So, getting stock in and the rest of it, and then. We're going through a huge exercise right now. So I was actually talking to you about this, Lee, the support we're getting from the province through Halifax Partnership, NSBI, and then BDC and the rest of it has been amazing. They've linked me to a lot of advisors, and I didn't realize how many established people come out of Nova Scotia because there's this one program called Scotians, and so all these people are around the world that are advisors, and they're very high up in their industries, and they
within the retail industry that you're in.
Yes, and not necessarily. They just they talk to you a lot about. They could come up with ideas for business in general.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I spoke to a guy 2 days ago. He's in renewable energy, and we got into a conversation about thinking outside the box to generate sales, and it was amazing discussion because I don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, it just makes you think outside of just going down the same route as everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very hard for me personally because I have a lot of within my family and close network around me. There's a lot of self-made and entrepreneurs. Like most of my family all have their own business. So using that for reference has been a help, but in like the fundamental way of like starting a business, running a business, approaching budgeting, like all that sort of stuff. However, when it comes to like marketing, thinking out of the box, different product developments and stuff, it's hard, or even like marketing side of things. It's very
busy out there.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to approach somebody because, when we had the last conversation, I was just going off about all the shit I've been learning on my own about, and Canary's probably sick and tired of hearing about it because it's all like digital marketing and this and that and ways to approach strategy. And, I tried to reach out to people within that industry around here, and it's very close-knit, and they don't want to divulge much information. They want me to pay for those resources, which at the time I'm like, I don't know if I just want to ask questions. And if it's of value to me, then I don't mind having you on board as like an advisor and paying you for like being a consultant or something. But it's like, it was very hard to try to find the information. So I just started, like every night, 4 or 5 hours a night, like in the morning, 5 a.m, being online, looking, reading,
just learning,
that sort of stuff.
That's the way you do it. And it's good to do it yourself rather than bringing in someone else too, just so you get the fundamentals and if someone's kind of bullshitting you. I don't want to sound negative in that way, but
yeah.
And then, if you get into a discussion, you can contribute to it.
Absolutely.
And you can give your ideas. So yeah, it's good to learn yourself.
I think sometimes it's like dangerous to lean on, like it's good to delegate.
Yeah.
But it's dangerous to not be educated in something.
And on the other side, I've learned it's been a very humbling experience that you could bring people on board that know what they're doing, and they can really take you to another level if you open yourself up to it. So
or humble you, being like you're doing shit wrong, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing?
So coming back to your question, what's next and the rest of it. So the reason I was talking about the province and how they're helping us and all these organizations, we're going to go through this. We're going through this real discovery process right now of working out what our mission is, what our values are, where we want to take the company in 5 years, and it's been quite an amazing process.
Cool.
So it's so the website will change over the next few months. We've got a we'll hopefully be bringing some more people in, and so it's an exciting time.
Exciting.
Yeah.
There we go. You got a list of things in front of you before we jump into a rapid fire. You have a notebook.
No, I was just like, oh,
came
man.
prepared. More prepared than we did.
Yeah. I wanted to look smart. No.
It's literally just scribbles.
Yeah,
just random words.
Just this is my diary of just people that I speak to, and I try to write down stuff. That's all.
I've got about 6 of those, all for different things.
Second brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we jump into rapid fire, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Let's do it. Wait.
Look at that. That was amazing.
Right? The funk music. All right, rapid fire. Summer or winter?
That's a good question. I'm not going to be rapid, yeah. I should summer. I'll say summer, but I absolutely love snowboarding. So,
do you?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite activities. So
winter's growing on you.
Big time. Yeah, big time. So,
Cool.
But
come
summer.
to Highlands next year with us.
No, I wanted to talk to you about all this.
Okay, let's talk rock and roll.
All right. Fiddles or bagpipes?
Fiddles.
Yeah.
So, just a quick one, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, we can take all the time we need.
When I first arrived here, my wife said to me that all of our friends were going to go out and see a concert down on the waterfront.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's a huge concert. The whole city will be there. And I was like, okay, I wonder who that is. And we went down, and they had it was the Rankin family.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this, Mary? And it was amazing. It was truly amazing. So yeah, that's Nova Scotia.
A little interjection there. Jimmy Rankin came tubing the other year, was it last year, the year before? Anyway, he came down with his wife and kids and stuff, and he was wearing a Tilly hat with this big neck thing and massive sunglasses, like in disguise, trying to so no one would know who he was. Right. And as soon as somebody was like, I think that's Jimmy Rankin, and it was just like, can I get a picture? And he's like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah, he's a germaphobe too.
Okay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so he tries to keep his face from people. So that's probably part of it too, right? It's just guys, stay away from me.
And I was just going to say quickly, the only reason I didn't say bagpipes, I'm South African, rugby's in our blood. Yeah. And the only 2 times I've been to Scotland, Scotland have beat us in rugby, and they never ever beat us. It's a traumatic experience.
What position do you play?
I used to play number 8.
Okay.
And second row. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Waves or waterfalls?
Waves. Yeah.
What is your favorite place in the world?
No, yeah, I can't.
You can say it. You can say it.
No,
it's a safe place.
No, it's a hard question because, oh man, I think it comes down to experience too, right?
Okay.
I'd have to say Bali because I've had an amazing time there, but then sailing in the Adriatic and Cape Breton's beautiful, and South Africa. No, I won't say Bali. I'm gonna say Cape Vidal in South Africa.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a very rustic, beautiful place. It's
Surf
wild.
town?
No, it's just huge ocean, lots of wildlife. Yeah, very extreme. So yeah.
Cool.
I'm not very rapid on these.
How do you take your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
You don't drink coffee?
No.
Tea?
Yeah, I drink tea.
Yeah? What kind of tea?
It's just milky white with 1 sugar. It's terrible.
If you are what you eat, what are you?
I'm a steak.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Leopard.
Ooh.
Yeah. They're beautiful and they just do their own thing and
dangerous.
Yeah, they're super dangerous. Well, I wouldn't say I'm dangerous, but I just want to look beautiful.
Right? If you were a beer, what kind of beer would you be?
A bintang.
What is a bintang?
It's a Indonesian beer.
Okay.
I just have really good memories on it. So,
what does it taste like?
It's just a crisp lager.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bintang.
Cool. And last one. If you had to choose a way to die, if you were going to die and you had to choose a way to die, what would you choose? Like death by drowning, death by leopard, death by
not that one.
hippopotamus.
I'm going to be so lame and just say by sleep.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Life's, yeah.
I think personally, what would you choose, Lee?
In a hammock on top of a mountain, probably.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
there'd be no hammock on top of a mountain because there'd be no trees there, so that doesn't make sense.
I would choose parachute not opening.
It's quite a rush.
Right? Because you would go through the 5 stages of
Yeah.
grief before you hit the ground. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
I don't want to know. That's
fair.
Yeah, whatever.
Secret.
I thought about it a lot. When I used to work and be in the water, I just always used to think about, fuck,
Yeah.
what would it be like to die right now?
I think, yeah, you should probably see a doctor about that. But so, Grant, where can people find you?
So just kifflab.com.
Yep.
We got social media, kifflab, Facebook, all of them. We on TikTok. And yeah, just drop us an email if you have any questions or you want to find out more.
You guys have a TikTok?
Yeah, we got a TikTok.
Cool.
It's got 6,000 followers. I don't know how that happened.
Wicked.
So yeah, we got. We don't spend enough time on social media, to be honest. We should do more, but
Yeah, I'm trying to put things in place so that I can spend less time.
But yeah,
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
guys, absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
We go and get a beer now?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
See ya.
Thank you.
ya.